Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to teach you how to cut a fish skirt or a fishtail skirt. Okay, so keep watching, and if you've not subscribed, please do well to subscribe, like, share and comment. Alright, let's get started. So to cut this skirt, you fold your material into two places, then mark your starting point, which will also serve as your waist point. Then next thing, you place your tape on a straight line. Because I am making a corset gown, I am going to remove the upper bodies of the top, upper bodies of the gown, which is we stop at 17 inches. Then I mark the full length of the gown. So that's it, and I added extra 1 inch allowance. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do now is to place my tape on the waistline, and I will mark my hip point. After marking my hip point, I will mark my knee point. So my knee point is, I use 20 inches as the knee point. The knee point is usually from 18 to 21 inches depending on how long or big the client is. So after marking it, the next thing I'm going to do is to put down my measurement. So my waist circumference divided by 4, I added there plus 2 inches allowance. So after marking it down, do the same thing on the hip. My hip circumference divided by 4 plus 2 inches allowance. So what I have on the hip without adding the allowance, my hip circumference divided by 4 without the allowance is 12. I'm going to remove 1.5 inch from the hip circumference divided by 4. I will remove 1.5 inch. What I have there, I'm going to put it down on the knee length. Okay, whatever you have on your hip point, you remove 1.5 inch from here and you add it, you place it at the hip point, knee point. Okay, that's how to mark your knee point. Then whatever you have on your hip point without the allowance, you mark it at the full length. With the without the allowance, mark it on the full length, and then add extra 7 inch allowance at the down part. Okay, so that is what I did there. Whatever you have on your knee point, on your hip point, remove 1.5 inch from it and mark for your knee point. Then whatever you have on your hip, don't remove any 1.5 inch and don't add any 2 inches for allowance. Mark it down on your full length, then add extra 1 inch allowance. Then after marking it, I came up by 2.5 inch to 3 inches for the skirt curve at the down part of the skirt. Then for the dart, I marked my nipple to nipple measurement, which is 5. Then I came down by 5 also. Make sure that it's 5. Mark a straight line. Then I removed half inch on both sides of the dart of the line. Then I marked it like this, connecting it to the length of the dart, and that is how to mark my dart for the skirt. So I came down by 1 inch at the center of the skirt and I curved it like this for the hip curve. Okay, it's just to give a curve on the skirt because our waist is not straight, our waist has a curve. So that's what I gave it to the skirt. So I'm going to pin it down so that it will not shift when I'm cutting it. So I'll start cutting out immediately. So after cutting it out, I am going to use what I have here to cut the back of the skirt. So to get what I am about to do clearly, I have to do everything on the ground. So I placed the front piece of the skirt on the back piece. After I folded my material by 2 places, I folded it like this and I marked 7 inches inward before I placed my front piece. Okay, 7 inches from the center of the material, 7 inches from the center front, and I marked a straight line on it. Then at the down of the skirt, I marked 7 inches down also, and I marked it straight. Then I curved it like this, 7 inches, 7 by 7, everything is 7. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to go up by 1 inch. The back is always straight, the back is hanging. The back of your skirt is going to be longer than the front of your skirt. Then I came out by 2 inches for the zipper allowance. this is my zipper allowance. From there to there is my zipper allowance. So from my knee point, from the hip waist point to the knee point is from my zip allowance. Then I came in by ½ inch from the knee point, and I'm going to connect it to the 7 inches point that I marked down there. After connecting it to the 7 inches point I marked down there, I am going to see how I curved it up to the hip point. Then from the edge of the skirt I curved it down to the 7 inches marked. See how it is, the curve is. So I am going to start cutting out immediately. There is nothing much here on this skirt. Fish skirt is always very simple and easy to make. This is the easiest way to make your fish skirt. I hope you guys understand with this video, and if you have any question, please drop it in the comment section, and I'll see it and I'll answer you immediately I see it. Okay, so I'm going to cut it out now, and after cutting it out, so guys, we are done cutting out, and this is what fish skirt looks like after cutting. And I'm going to use the whatever I have here to cut on the main fabric, which is the lace. This is just the line. Then I had to cut out the darts. Okay, I love cutting out my darts, so I'm now going to cut on the main fabric, which is the lace, and that is it. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.